something. With all the distractions that you have off the field, how are you able to keep focused on winning football games as you do and do throughout the year?
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
Marketing come up with that for him. Those were his phrases that he came up with, that he believed in.
Just win. Play hard. Try not to make mistakes. But don't worry about mistakes, because there's only one thing that counts. Just win. Just win.
Yo, welcome to another episode of the 2-for-1 Nation podcast, man. I'm one of your hosts, the SC Raiders Talk, aka boy Eric. And next to me, got it right, my boy, man, home of the congregation, the Brown Crackers, the other half of the 2-for-1 Nation podcast, my brother, Raider Twuan in the building. What's good, Twuan?
Hey, what's good? Two brothers for one nation. Y'all know what it is. It is the Raider Nation. And blessings to everybody in the congregation.
Shout out to everybody, man, for sure. Hopefully everybody's having a blessed week and stuff. There's a lot of things happening in the past 2 days. I mean, practice got canceled today, but was it for a bad thing? Not at all. We'll talk about that and all the press conferences that have happened. I got to see the Antonio Pierce conference just before this live. And let me tell you, if you missed it, bro, there's a lot of key information in just that press conference where he's telling us straight to your face what's happening in the facility. He's telling you straight to your face what's going on, how's the competition, what are they doing, and all these things, man. But shout out to everybody, man. Let me shout out everybody that's here so far. Lakers in 5 was good. Robert Penna was good. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Shout out to you guys, man. Shout out to Raider Paul. Oh, let me get it. Hold on. How could I not have it? Let me play it for you. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to Carl. What's good? You already know what it is. Anthony Estrada in the building. Salute. Hope all is well. My 2 cents was good. Hope all is well. We for sure doing things out Davis away. Get a ready coach. Get great coaches and get great players. That's a fact, man. That's a fact. Egalitarian was good. Good to see you. Another 1-for-1 podcast where Twuan does the heavy lifting and Eric just shows up. What the fuck, Circus? What's good, Circus? What's good? Good to see you. Hope all is well, man. I can't take the heat. Practice in Costa Mesa, man. I feel that they're going to training camp. The deal that was in place was only for training camp. Right now, it's mini camp. Training camp is next month. So they can't technically, if they wanted to go to Costa Mesa, they can't because the deal only is for the training camp. So that's why they didn't do it. But they did it. They also didn't do the practice. We'll talk about it right now, man. I got the full thing, why it didn't happen and stuff like that. Shout out to this Shaw. He says, never a bad, most likely extremely hot in Vegas. It's not only the weather. It's something else that it's kind of interesting to see. I think it's beneficial more than it is negative. But shout out to everybody, man. Man, let's kick it off, right? There's a lot to talk about, man. Let's start off with the minicamp itself. 2 days so far. Day 1 happened the other day, right? I believe Tuesday. Of course, we heard some good things about the competition and stuff like that. Then obviously day 2, which as you can see from the title, the rookies showed up. And I don't mean showed up to the building. I mean showed up. So Twuan, talk to me, man, about some things you've heard, what you feel about minicamp so far, what you're looking forward to, and all those things.
You know, to be honest with you, this minicamp, just in general, I think we've been high. I think overall, just based off the groups that I've been around, we've all kind of been hyped about, you know, the possibilities of what this team is shaping up to be. the possibilities of how we can be successful overall, you know what I'm saying, as a team. And I think there's just a whole different, we've talked about the vibe, we talked about the swagger, we talked about the culture. And what stuck out even more to me in regards to the mini camp is the pressers. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just the coaches, talking. You got players and the way that they're talking. You know what I'm saying? We've heard a little more cussing this year versus, you know what I'm saying, years in the past. Even on the coaching staff, I said it, I think I said it last week or 2 weeks ago, it seems like the vibe of the coaches is really reflecting on these players, how chill and educational our safeties are. You listen to the coach of the safeties, he exactly that, as chill as our linebackers are, you know what I'm saying, and their mannerisms is the same way the linebackers coaches, and just hearing those and their openness, I think are the last presser of and I'm trying to remember, it's the Ryan one with Cadillac, and I forgot who the other guy was. That trio of coaches, like they came, it was Craig. They came in and they were just talking straight, how they were feeling, what they thought. There were some things, of course, on the offensive line side that definitely threw some flags for me. Just some things to look at. Not saying it's completely a, oh my gosh, panic situation, but some things to really look at. And we're starting to get a whole lot of information and clarity from these guys. So I'm excited for minicamp. I know that we got a little break, so there's, definitely we'll see what kind of information comes from that. But minicamp has been great, player wise, and ultimately for me, I like listening to the pressers.
Yeah. I think the press conferences, you're seeing more people speak up. You know how in prior years it was more of, how do I say it? It was more of the coach talks, maybe the defensive coordinator comes up, the main players, Devontae talks, Max Crosby talks, but here you got everybody talking. You got a lot of people talking everywhere from the position coaches, and it kind of shows the new demeanor of how the things are ran. And just based on the last 2 days, man, I've seen nothing but information getting thrown at us, the truth getting thrown at us, and that's what we always needed, right? They also giving us the truth at the same time, not giving too much so that other teams know what's going on. They're giving us just enough to know, hey, this is what's happening in the building. This is how we're doing things. This is how good it's going. This is how bad it's going. And we're continuing to progress and doing the same thing every day. Like that's the type of stuff I like, where it gives the fan base and us as a Raider Nation just something to like, hey, we're working, we're trying, and we're gonna do everything we can to go out there and win on week one. Shout out to everybody coming in. Let me just shout out to everybody coming in. Ray Love was good. Good to see you, Matt Raider Paul. Salute to everybody coming in. Matt Carl was good. Be right back. Gotta get some ice from before this Oklahoma. Yeah, I feel that, man. Hey, stay safe, man. Hey, stay high. Hey, remember my slogan, man. Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. You feel me? Shout out to everybody, man. Costa Mesa doesn't have Bunny Ranch to manage player stress. Shout out to Gregor John. Shout out to everybody, man. Hopefully, I didn't skip anybody, man. Good to see everybody coming on in slowly but surely, and hopefully, everybody's having a great week. But, of course, he said even better than not one or whack ass visor of the presser. Yeah, that boy Josh McDaniels didn't really say much half the time, bro. But speaking of these day twos, man, just day one, it impressed me a lot that these guys are stepping up, that we're seeing the veterans really go out there and show out and stuff like that. But day two, and it's kind of more focused. Our title is pretty much focused more on day two because the rookies showed up. And not only did the rookies show up, of course they showed up to the facility, but they showed up more than that. And just to give you little things that happened during minicamp, Dylan Lobby was versatile. He was catching out of the backfield, had a couple yards there, had a few snaps at kick return, which is interesting, shows his versatility. And then Cadillac Williams, of course, said in the press conference that he thinks he has a bright future and he's wise beyond his years. He shows up like a vet. He could take what he learns from the classroom and apply it on the field. He's always going to be in the right spots, got really good hands, quick, explosive, just this very a very cerebral player that could do a lot of things. So it just shows how much praise he's got from him, man, and the capabilities that he got. And he's been somebody that I've been raving about, and I've been talking about his versatility before he's been done that. So to see him really step up and they're liking what he's doing, it's showing me and it's proving me more that my thoughts on him is getting more and more right. Now, that running back room is going to be a very competitive room, but I wouldn't doubt if they bring 4 or 5 running backs there. And I think 4 main running backs would be good enough for a running back by committee, because not only are you going to have a lot of sets that have 2 running backs in the backfield catching, maybe one's on the slot, route running and stuff like that, but you're also going to have times where you're going to be in the end zone. You need a power back. You need a guy that's more stronger. You got those guys in the locker room. And you feel me? The running back by committee all has a different role. So I can't wait to see what happens there. And that's one of the guys that light it up. Another guy that lit it up is Brock Bowers. Devontae Adams called him the businessman. Y'all seen it. Saying that he doesn't care about anything else but locking in on football, and I can see it in his eyes. So there was even a joke that he said Devontae Adams has said jokes, and he didn't even laugh. He's just focused on football, and it kind of shows you how much of a football guy is that. So that's a couple things, man. And then, just to end it off on day 2, just to show you like what happened. DJ Glaze has been going against Tyree Wilson and Max Crosby in some of the reps, helping him in pass protection, showing his skills. And then you have MJ Devonshire that caught an interception, and then Tommy Eichenberg that had a couple of pass deflections during red zone drills. And then then people, Anthony Brown Jr. I know Twuan has talked about the quarterbacks in particular. Anthony Brown Jr. was finding his targets. He connect on a deep touchdown with Christian Wilkerson. And then obviously DJ Turner impressed as well. And then Gardner Minshew showed his rush to first down gains, so his mobility and stuff like that. And then Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins was competing, which, hey, before I continue to Antonio Pierce, because it kind of transitions to Antonio Pierce press conference, what you feel about that, Twuan? The rookies showing up, they're showing out, man. What you feeling about it?
Hey, I like it, I love it, and I want some more of it. You know what I'm saying? There's a song that actually puts all those, put those words in it, but I like it, I love it, and I want some more of it. And the reason why I say it in that way is, I like it because, again, they're rookies. And, it's good to hear that people that we're bringing in are getting adapting to the learning, adapting to the teaching, and putting it out there, in practice. What I love about it is, that they're getting it. There's a lot of coaching, a lot of intricacies, even in on the defensive side, that Patrick Graham is installing. Luke Getsy is installing a new offense. So that's what I love about it, is that they're starting to really pick up the things. And the I want some more of it. Aspect of it is that they're still in, they're still in underwear, they're still in shorts, so you can't really, say, hey, that's what it's going to be, but the trending of, hey, they're picking things up, they're adapting, they're accepting the teachings and whatever these coaches are instilling is a positive. And this is the time where you want to hear that your rookies are flashing and your rookies are doing well. Down the line, when it gets to camp, where they got the pads and there's some contact and some really, some real potential bullets flying, there might be some rough days for these guys, but it's encouraging to hear their names being called now. But again, I want some more of that and continuing their name being pushed into week 1 and moving forward.
Fact, man. Shout out to SoCal Sound in the building, man. Salute, Dirty Eric. What's good? E, how about them Celtics gunning for the sweep? Well, let me tell you, as a Laker fan, bro, I am down horrendous. Okay, it's tough looking at that, but you know what? It's okay. It's yo, I don't even want to talk about it, bro. It just makes me sick to my stomach. But hey, man, the best team won, right? Shout out to EJ Raider, man. Salute. Good to see you. Hope all is well, man. But we didn't need a tight end though. Tay's opinion's invalid. I feel that, man. I can't really be surprised. I knew it was gonna be that kind of series last week in a close game. Oh, you're talking about the Dodgers. Yeah, the Dodgers Yankees was a good series, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Tommy Eichenberg, man. You already know what it is. EJ Raider. I don't know if I saluted you, but salute to you, man. Hope all is well. Salute. Good to see everybody in here. But obviously, looking at the rookies, hey, great things, man. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear them elevate. I want to hear them go out there and go against the best. And you see somebody like DJ Glaze that we've been, kind of bashing, the pick and stuff like that. He's going against the top end guys. He ain't going against the backup. He's going against Max Crosby over and over again. So it's kind of showing you that. And shout out to Milka Beezy joining us. What's good? If you guys can, hit that like button, man. And if whoever is new, please subscribe, man. Both links are in the description, man, and stuff like that. Go ahead.
I think we need and you guys can, again, I talk my Raider gospel wherever I go, and you guys can have your Raider gospel on this situation. But I think we need to lighten up on DJ Glaze. I think the situation of DJ Glaze, I think they were already, even with the press conferences, they were talking about how confident they were with Mumford, and because they're so confident with Mumford, we know Colton Miller ain't going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, Colton Miller's our guy until otherwise. So if we understand that Mumford, if they liked Mumford and that Colton Miller is our guy, then what was DJ Glaze going to be potentially? He was going to be our backup. So are we okay with DJ Glaze being our backup and them identifying a guy that can be our backup, or a guy that we can call on when if one of those guys goes down? Like, I think we got to put it in perspective. I know that a lot of us didn't really understand the DJ Glaze, didn't like the DJ Glaze, but if you put it in that perspective, that might be a way that you can kind of digest it, that right now he's our swing tackle, and that, eventually he may be a guy down the line. But right now, let's just take it as we drafted in the third round a swing tackle, and there's some pieces there, and even with the press conference of Craig, I think I like what Craig is trying to do with this offensive line. And if he identified DJ Glaze as a guy that he can work with, hey, let Craig cook for a bit.
Yeah. For me, shout out to everybody coming in, man. Of course, for me, Glaze was a questionable pick, and I'm not one to take back on my word until I see it. And I do think, to answer Circus, I still think he's a reach. Now, he is a 6 pass protector. I did see that he was one of the best pass protectors in the draft, I believe, in the top 10 easily. But for me, knowing what was on the board, I would have went a different route. But at the same time, that doesn't discredit my trust and my hope in him, right? At the end of the day, this guy could be our future, right? No doubt about it, right? Knowing our right tackle situation, stuff like that, he's got the potential there. And when I listen to press conferences, and when I listen to Antonio Pierce talk and Tom Telesco, they kind of talk about that. It's about the future, 3 to 5 years. They want these guys long term. Now, DJ Gliss fits into that mold, right? It's somebody that may not be ready now, but will be ready soon, right? And then once he's ready, he will be the future, right? And that's why I'm also not going to discredit him to the point where I'm going to say, wow, we should have never drafted him. At the same time, they know what they're doing. Like I always said, I'm going to stick by it the whole offseason. I trust what the coaching staff's doing. I trust what Tom Telesco's doing. And if that's the pick they went and they believe in him, hey, I got to believe in them too, man. And at the end of the day, I believe in this whole team, no matter if you're the backup or not. Because at the end of the day, if they do good, we win for this. And we finally get what we deserve for a very long time, which is the Lombardi, man. So, I'm hoping he does pan out. And I just like that he's already, as a rookie and as a guy like that, he knows he's got a chip on his shoulder because people are discrediting him and stuff like that. And I'm glad he's going against the best of the best and not being like how it used to be, where it was like, oh, these rookies will go against the backups. And that's how it'd be. No, they're throwing Max Crosby on them already. And speaking of that, and why I think that's such a significance, and it kind of makes me transition. Shout out to Cool Kev. Shout out to Billy Davis. He says we will win the AFC West and go to playoffs and go 13-5. Hey, there you go, man. Speak them facts. Shout out to Billy in the building. Shout out to everybody coming in, man. Shout out to Cool Kev, like I said. But here's the thing, right? He says he's not a Hall of Famer in the rookie season. I know, right? I would have called him garbage for that, man. People be calling everybody garbage because they're not Hall of Famers rookie season. It's crazy, but you know how it goes, right? But this helps me transition the Max Crosby thing going with DJ Glaze to, I don't know if you've seen the Antonio Pierce press conference today, Twuan, what he said, but he talked about Max Crosby, and he said, I don't know the exact words, but he did say this in a way that he has Max Crosby not go easy. He's having him go full force on whoever he's going against. Now, there's one person he mentioned today, though. We know DJ Glaze has been going against Max Crosby just based on yesterday, so that's good to know that he's going against Max Crosby at his full potential, right? Maybe not even full potential because Max Crosby has endless motor, right? But Thayer Munford, that was somebody Antonio Pierce talked about today. He said that Thayer Munford has been getting reps against Max Crosby and Wilkins and having them go full force on him. And that's interesting. That's very interesting because now we know, not only based on yesterday that DJ Glaze is going against Max Crosby, but we know as of today that Antonio Pierce says that he's letting Max Crosby go. Like, hey, you go out there and you practice like you're on the field. And he talked about how, if these guys don't get the reps that they would get against top-end talent in the league, how are they going to progress? So in order for that to happen, they need the best of the best to go against them. And who's the best of the best? Max Crosby. And they need him to go full force. And look at what's been going on, right? What do you feel about that? What do you feel about Antonio Pierce today and everything he talked about and those things?
He says the same thing that James Craig said in regards to the competing on the offensive line and how the defensive line is doing that. It's that phrase that we talk about all the time, iron sharpens iron. And when you have someone like a Max Crosby that is a high caliber, pass rusher, even without the high motor or whatever you want to identify Max Crosby as, he's one of the elites in this league. So when you have that going against your offensive line and giving him the green light to challenge our offensive line, when what's going to happen week 1, what's going to happen week 2, what I'm saying? Mumford's going to go against the elite.
Yeah.
Every team has I'll say it like this. Everybody in the league, what I'm saying, has an elite pass rusher. Let's clear the room. Every team has at least one of those guys, right? And when you have that situation, that person is not going to, half ass it when they pass rush you. You know what I'm saying? So to have a Max Crosby say, hey, I'm going at you like it's week 7. I'm going at you like it's week, 2. I'm going at you like it's week, 18. That's the kind of preparation that our offensive line needs to go through, especially I think even more this year because they're not only going against pass rushing, but they're also trying to fine tune the new technique that they have to, get used to in regards to offensive line and the steps and all of that, what I'm saying, and getting familiar of what they need to do in regards to the style of play that they need to get with this offensive line. So all of that molds the player for preparation when the bullets truly are flying, and that starts week 1.
Mm-hmm. And shout out to Wild Turkey coming in. Shout out to everybody coming in. Hopefully I didn't skip anybody. But shout out to all of you guys, man. Blessings. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, and of course hit that like button. But when it comes down to it, and when I hear Antonio Pierce talk today, not only did he give us the information about shout out to Nutty Raider Nate was good. Before I continue. You already know what it is, Nate. But he also gave us information about how it was in the beginning, like how it was when he first joined the Raiders to now what he is now. And he kind of talked about how it used to be the Max Crosby show on the training camp. It used to be the Max Crosby show. It used to be Max Crosby being the first one to go, the first one to run, first one to do this. But then he said now it's a Raiders show. Like now everybody's doing what he's doing. Everybody's doing what putting that extra effort. And that's what you like to see, bro. We haven't heard that in a while. We usually knew that, not to bring it up, but it was like Max Crosby and DC would be the first ones to be in the room and then the last ones to head out. Now it's everybody. First ones to be in together, last ones to be out together. Like everybody's putting in that work, and that's how it should be, and that's how it's supposed to be in years past, but now it finally is. And that's why I like this team and why this team gives me more energy and gives me more of a different outlook on the season. And you have people like I believe, mistake me if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. He talked about if I hope I get the player right. It was Zamir White that something about him coming in early after the Super Bowl. He talked about a certain player. I don't know if it was Zamir White or another player. Oh, Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker.
Yeah,
Trey
Trey.
Tucker. Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker, man. They asked him about the receivers. They said, we know what Devontae Adams is capable of. What do you feel? What other names should we look at? He said, I'm going to give you pretty much 3, or I'm going to give you 2 others, right? He said Trey Tucker was the first one. He said, this guy catches different. This guy route runs different. This guy's speed is different. And then he talked about that after the Super Bowl, right after the Super Bowl. Trey Tucker was one of the first ones in the building already working on everything. This is huge. And why is it huge? Because we know what Devontae Adams could do. And I'm about to talk about Jacoby Myers because he did talk about Jacoby right now. But Trey Tucker, we knew that he didn't have no problem with speed. He didn't have a problem with getting open. The problem he was that sometimes his hands were questionable. But to know that he was working on it since the start, even before OTAs, before all these things, shows you how much he wants to get better. And we see it across the board. But somebody like Trey Tucker having that, and you know how dangerous he could be? How dangerous he could be if he really perfects that craft. The quarterback just needs to give him the ball, right? That's all that needs to happen. But what you feel about that, man? How do you feel about these guys putting in that work, man? And stuff like that?
They talked about it, and they talked about it multiple times in multiple podcasts. To be honest with you, and pressers, Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers have really been on Tucker because I think they know what Tucker can what Tucker really can be in this offense and just ultimately as a player. So they're really working on Tucker and giving him that big brother that big brother kind of love because Jacoby was talking about Tucker and he talked about him like, hey, he's fast. Wait, I can't say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, I gotta hate on him just being being that big brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to have that type of relationship, it really creates it breeds success. And I think Tucker's coming in hungry, knowing that he left some things out there last year. You know what I'm saying, on the tape. We've been talking about, I've been talking about Tucker, and I'm like, if he just gets his hands better, you know what I'm saying? I know there's a whole bunch of other things that he could work on just because he's a young wide receiver, but I was just like, man, if he just gets his hands together, he would be, where we need him to be. And obviously he seems like, Antonio Pierce is saying, he's coming in and he's working on his hands and everything else. So I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for it, and we'll see how that works for him. I think there's competition there, and we've talked about it. Is he clearly the third wide receiver, or is Gallup making that move? You know what I'm saying? Like, who else can make that third wide receiver? And he's putting in the work. So we'll see how it works out for him.
Facts, man. And Circus is right here, man. Another thing too, AOC was working. AOC said one of the first people he was working with was Trey Tucker in the offseason. And that's good, to get that accuracy down, get the deep throws down and stuff like that. And that's what happens with Tucker. When you are capable of beating a team over the top, it could be a very dangerous force, because not only will that open the I guess open the field gates, the floor gates pretty much for the running back group, because then they will play back, they will respect the deep pass and open it up for our running back, open it up for the slot, open it up for those things. That's what the deep pass could do. And obviously Twuan made a video of how important it is and stuff like that, so go check it out on Twuan's if you want to go more in depth into the deep pass and stuff like that. And obviously that's what they're working on. Now, is AOC quarterback one right now? Yes. Is he going to be week one? Hey, the competition is brewing. And that's another thing I want to transition to from what Antonio Pierce talked about, was that both players are embracing the competitive force. And we've been hearing this from across all position coaches, all players, that this competition has been one of the most favorites for them too, because both guys are coming in, shaking hands, and then going out there and competing for the same spot, competing at a high level, making throws, going out there and just giving it all. And that's how it should be. And they're making each other better, because now we're hearing Gardner Minshew even be more mobile, being more competitive, being more that demeanor and more trash talking than ever be. Then we're hearing AOC is starting to trash talk and get into that rhythm. That's that competition right there, y'all. And that's why, when people talk about we don't got a quarterback and stuff like this, I disagree, because I feel like we do, man. And, the more I hear these guys talk about this training facility, it's train. And, at the end of the day, it's practice, right? We can only take it with a grain of salt. But to hear the competitive nature and them getting better at their craft, that's all you could ask for from a quarterback. And, without that, you feel me? Look at the talent around them. Right? Look at the talent around these quarterbacks. They have everything to succeed. All the offensive line is working better, which, by the way, Dylan Parham switched to a right guard, which I want to talk about that too. Speaking of it, that kind of thinks of me. But obviously, the offensive line is getting better. The running back committee, we don't know what they're capable of, but we know there's potential. The wide receivers, look at what's happening with Trey Tucker. Look, we already know Devontae has Jacoby Myers. And then the tight ends is a force. We got an offense that is built for a quarterback right now. And if one of these quarterbacks could really take the next step, which it looks like they're taking the next step, the sky's the limit for the offense. And I believe this offense will be better than last year, 100%. Shout out to everybody in here, man. George C. was good. Good to see you, Hope Ball, as well. But yeah, talking about it, Jacoby Myers is the other guy that they talked about. Obviously they said that Antonio Pierce said that he's a dog, that we know that he's capable of getting 1,000 yards, but also his blocking ability is underrated, and that's blocking ability is one of the best and help the run game. So, hey, keep talking to me about something else, Twuan, about what was talked about today and stuff like that. As far as anything that stood out to you and stuff like that.
Jacoby Myers is a guy that I think, and I've been saying this since we got him. I think a lot of people got to put respect on his name in regards to him being a number one wide receiver. I know that we get so enamored with Devontae Adams, but Jacoby Myers is a dog within himself. If you put him on another team, he would clearly be another team's number one wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? He could be another team's number one wide receiver. And that's just who he is, and just his demeanor. He's not about, the benchmark of, I need to have 1,000-yard season. He's not that type of guy. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I also like about Jacoby Myers. And I'm glad that, Coach AP decided to, highlight him, because I think he is worthy of discussion. With AP, I think a touching moment, especially for this, around this time, because it is Father's Day, Father's Week, whatever you want to call it. He talked about his relationship with his son,
Mhm.
and his son being a part of the staff. And he's like, hey, if I have an opportunity to get my son, connected to me, where I actually, not only am being a head coach, but I also every once in a while could have a father son moment on the field. I think that's a benefit for him. I think he's killing two birds with one stone in that aspect, because we get so as fans, we get so caught in production and, these coaches need to coach and these players need to play, but these coaches and players are also fathers at the same time. And sometimes they're kids, because that wide receiver is getting all the getting reps. That wide receiver is not spending time with his son because he's out there on the field getting reps. So I thought that was just a beautiful moment that Antonio Pierce is like, hey, this is the opportunity, yes, to get my work in, and yes, I am doing my job, but also at the same time is an opportunity that I could spend with my son. Same thing with Ryan, Ryan said the same thing. He's like, man, I want to get to a point where, my son comes in here and works with me, but that was one of the touching moments that I got from Antonio Pierce, just showing his personal side
Mhm.
outside of the football. So I thought his presser was just kind of opened up him a little bit of himself, and I thought that
Mhm.
was a great moment.
And then, he emphasized, besides that, obviously, one of the important things there, man, that kind of shows you that he even wants a connection with the Raider Nation, right? Hey, this is about me. This is what's going on. These are, hey, this is my son, stuff like that. Like, that's personal stuff, right? He doesn't need to do that as a coach. He goes on. Um, it goes for all NFL teams, right? They go on, the head coaches, they talk about football, and all these press conferences they want to hear is about football, right? That's what everybody wants to talk about. But like when you have coaches like this where they kind of show you the other side, that there's more to it than just football. It kind of shows you how much passion this guy has, and for the love of not only the team but the fan base, and just the love that he has for his own family, and he emphasizes family a lot. And easy transition to family is he talked about the chemistry within the team, what he likes to push, and because he has such a connection with his son, and stuff like that. And he's forever grateful, even though he was an only child and stuff like this, that he's forever grateful for his mom and stuff like this. um it kind of shows how he puts it into the team, and it kind of shows you that he likes to get personal with the players. And we've seen it time and time again from these players say that Antonio Pierce goes up to them and sometimes don't even talk to him about football, says, hey, how's your mental health, how are you doing, are you good, what's going on? And that's the connection you need, and that's also the connection that he's trying to put between the players and the coaches and players. And he talked about it today as well, in that aspect of the family atmosphere of the team. He said that he was emphasizing a lot lately, in the beginning OTAs and stuff like that, about um, connections and family and chemistry. And he did that through different events. And they asked him, what are those some events? And they said right next door, which was obviously, I believe, the WNBA, the Aces, I believe, arena. They went there and played basketball. He said they did 3-point contests. They said they did pretty much the all-star game. They did the skills challenge. They did horse. They did all these different things to build the chemistry within them. They had special teams go with defense. Defense go with all that. They were integrating and stuff like this. And that's what it's about. That kind of shows you that he's really trying to build the chemistry between them. And he also said the coaches and players, that he made the coaches pretty much, hey, go out there, go build a chemistry with these guys, man. Get to know each other. And you see it on the field. And it kind of shows me that he's telling the truth, because um, we talked about I talked about day one. I'm pretty sure Twan did too. That there was a lot of team celebrations. Like, it wasn't just they scored a touchdown. Hey, what's up? Good job. High five. It was all the team would come together and celebrate that guy's touchdown. It shows you the chemistry they have and the brotherhood that they have and the love they got for each other. So that goes a long way. Y'all don't understand how much chemistry goes a long way, especially for running back by committees, offensive lines, and those particular position groups, the linebackers, quarterbacks. It goes a long way. with chemistry comes competition. With competition comes a better team, and
Yeah, absolutely. I think just the whole, the rookies standing up and doing their thing, Dylan Lobbies. That everybody seems like Dylan, it seems like everybody, not everybody, but a good majority of people are on that boat of Dylan Lobby, you know, getting reps and stuff like that. I'm just excited that they're getting, they're hungry for the learning and they're accepting the learning overall. And I think Brock Bowers, I think that's just who he is as a person. I think
yeah.
he's very serious, especially I think even with him being where we drafted him and all of that, I think there's some weight on his shoulder that he's just trying to, hey, let me just get a good showing of that. And I think even with that being said, I think Michael Mayer is not making it easy for him either. Because I think there even with the rookies being reported, Michael Mayer is looking good too. With how he's taking on leadership and he said it himself. He's like, hey, I looked around in this room and nobody is trying to take the leadership role. Well, guess what? I'm gonna take it. And I think he's taking that to heart too. And that's a positive. That's definitely a positive.
That's a fact, man. And just the more these guys talk on, in the press conferences, and the more I'm seeing the reports out of the camp, it makes me more and more excited for this team and what they're building and stuff like that, and the culture and stuff like that. So, obviously it goes a long way. Let me get to some of these chats, man. Shout out to George C. I'm not sure if I saluted you with salute. Good to see everybody coming on in, man. If you guys can't hit that like button, subscribe if you're new and stuff like that, and you come across it on the rerun, hey, welcome. Hey, hopefully you guys like the content, daily content. Well, for me, it's not daily content, but a lot of content each week still. Shout out to Soka Salad says Pierce is bringing the family environment. He will discipline and he has to. It's not a I'm the boss. And listen to me, AK McDaniels. That's a fact, man. It's more a be yourself, because he said be yourself and I'm gonna be myself. And we're gonna build together. And we're gonna collectively do it. And that's how it should be, right? And then it brings me to what happened today. Camp was called off. Now, there were some people, of course, kind of, being scared, like, what the hell's going on? What are we doing? This is extra. But then we got the other side where I'm on the other side of, I could see why they did it, and they came out and said why they did it. It's not only the weather. Weather's a big factor with that. At the end of the day, we know what weather could do to people. Pass out, stuff like that, if not coordinated right and stuff like that. But also, if you ever been to Vegas and you ever seen that heat is not no fucking joke, bro. That shit is disgusting, I would say, bro. Really, yeah, you have to see it for yourself, man. But besides the weather, he talked about how because of how much work these guys have put in, even in OT, involuntary, just going out there and not even having it mandatory, and all of these guys showing up, he felt like it was only right that they deserved a day off, just a day off. Hey, a day off for you guys itself, a reward for coming in here and putting in the work every single day, and even when it's not mandatory, still putting in work. Which for me, I'm cool with that, bro. That shows the team that he respects them, wants them to be healthy, will not overwork them. But even when not overworking them, they're still working. Like Antonio Pierce don't even gotta tell them to work, and they're working. And that shows you the trust that they have with each other. And Antonio Pierce knows, hey, one day it wouldn't break these guys because how much work they put in, right? Why you laughing? What you thinking of?
I'm over here like and maybe it's just my crazy head. Help me out, you know what I'm saying, in whatever you watching me on. Was it really a day off? Listen, really think about it. Like, how many times have we through, especially this year, because it's what we've been hearing and the reports that have been going on, right? These guys are coming in on their days off. getting work in. You know what I'm saying? They're hitting the weights. They when they're not supposed to be there, they're in the building. So even with AP saying you guys got the day off, was it really a day off? Did Max Crosby say, okay, I'm gonna go home? Or
I wouldn't doubt it.
did he go in the gym and hit some weights?
I don't doubt it.
Day off. Okay, I'm a Jack Jones. Oh, okay. I'm I know that we're not running out on the field, but I'm gonna go. You know what I'm saying? Sit in this air AC and look at some film. Like I'm convinced that even though Coach AP said we had a day off, these players didn't take a day off. So that was just I was laughing at that because I don't think, and to be honest with you, even though they got these days off, you know what I'm saying, I still believe that these players are going to be in the gym. They're going to be in the gym.
I would not doubt it, man. I would not doubt every guy. These guys' work ethic this year is it's out of the fucking charts, bro. And I wouldn't doubt it that even like you said, even if they ain't, let's just say they're not in the gym, right? They're film study, bro. At least once today, bro.
Yeah,
like, they're at least doing it a little. For them, they just want to work so hard that they know that hey, they show everybody, hey, we ain't somebody to mess with, bro. We're just not, and we're not gonna put up with all this. Oh, the Raiders are gonna have let's be honest, y'all. We live in a generation where we live in a time where social media runs the world, and we know that internet is one of the most important things. I highly doubt some of these players don't go on social media and see the things that they see. They do, but do they take it to heart? Hell no. They have the Raider mentality where it's we don't give a fuck about nothing. Jack Jones kind of said in the presser, he said, "Oh, respectfully, I don't care what you guys got to say. I'm at work and I'm gonna go out there and put up." He said it. That's the mentality, and I would not doubt it if they see it. They see the Raiders are projected to win 6.5. You feel me? They see that. They see that. And that's a disrespect to them because of how much work they're putting in. So what are they doing? Instead of dwelling and be like talking trash and be like, wow, you guys think we're gonna do 6.5? What is wrong with y'all? Instead, they're just taking it a step further in the work ethic and putting in work and getting better. So then when it comes time on the field, it's a whole different ball game. We hit people in the mouth that they didn't even know it was coming, right? And that's exactly what it is, man. If you think we're gonna win 6.5, less than 6.5, you're smoking something, bro. You're smoking something. And Anthony says that's the one thing Nation loves about him. He might have a son on the team, but he becomes a father figure to all these guys. They make a mistake, he pulls them aside, and we're gonna work on this. And that's a fact, man. That's how it should be, right? Exactly. No practice on field, but practice on that film. Or AP called the day off. The captain from the offense defense, Devontae, and Max says, "Hey, I'm still going to be at gym. Who's with me?" I wouldn't doubt it, bro. But that's something Max Crosby will say. "Hey, I'm gonna be in the gym, y'all. Y'all want to join me? Y'all don't."
and that's it. Like, and it's not just Max Crosby, but AOC's. Hey, come to the park.
Yeah.
What I'm saying? Let's throw some routes. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting here, and maybe this is me with a Raider cap on, but I'm sitting here and I'm really looking at our starters primarily, but I'm like, what guy is really going to take the day off?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying just, day off in the sense of, just a day off, but like, and we might see, for those that stock social media, we might see some of these guys at Disneyland or something, spending some family time, whatever, whatever the situation may be. But I don't see the guys on this team, the way that this culture has been set, like slacking off. Like, I think they're still going to be trying to get their work in. So I'm fine with them having that, it's hot. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been out there in Vegas when it's this type of weather, and even when you're just walking,
Yeah.
it ain't the
Yeah.
business. So I can only imagine trying to do some high competition NFL status drills in this heat is not the business. And I know some people talk about, oh, they got the indoor facility, but when you got 90 people, you can't use that that little indoor, that indoor facility ain't gonna house 90 guys. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to cancel, you know what I'm saying, a practice. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that aspect of things. So yes, we do have an indoor facility, and yes, they could still do some things there, but you can't house 90 guys in that. It would be a madhouse trying to house 90 guys running all different directions and stuff like that in that one building. So that's it.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, they're still putting in work, man. I would not doubt it, right? Obviously, um, they don't have to tell us everything, right? And they're keeping a lot of things that, hey, it's a secret. Maybe it's like, oh, this guy's putting in extra work, but they don't want nobody to know. Or maybe this guy it took the extra mile and already looking way better than he ever was, but they don't want nobody to know, right? Obviously, these things are the things that you keep to yourself, because at the end of the day, um, you know, things could go wrong. Another team could take that and be like, oh, it's gonna happen, stuff like that. And prepare for that certain person. They don't want that to happen. So obviously they're just telling us how it is at camp. That's what it is. That's about it. That's all they need to tell us. I'm not, I'm not expecting too much.
The crazy thing about it though, Eric, is the fact that we're getting a whole lot of information.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're still not they're not showing their hand. So that's the crazy thing about it is, when you look at all these pressers and you start really, like, because we have to do it, as content creators, but we pull out so much information from and we've been getting a whole lot of information from these pressers, but they're still not showing us their hand, even with all the mountain loads of information we've been getting. So that just shows you, how crazy and voluminous things can be with what this team is cooking on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively.
Facts. And I don't know. That's actually crazy just to think of. I'm just thinking about it, bro. Like exactly what you said. Like they're not even showing their hand and they're telling us a lot. Like that's insane. The amount of things that they have said is like, damn. Other teams will be like, oh yeah. They're like rubbing their hands together. Oh yeah, you got so much information. No, you fucking don't, bro. No, you don't. No, you don't. Just watch when you get caught off guard. And when you look at this team, it's just, how can you not be excited about the season, bro? Like, it's one thing to have your record prediction, right? Some people think we're going to win 7 games. Some people hate that the quarterbacks are the quarterbacks, stuff. And everybody's each one teach one, right? Everybody got their own their own opinions and stuff like that. But like, I just don't get it. Why, even with all this, right? All this extra work that they're putting and stuff like that, our own fan base is downing these guys more than other fan bases, man. It's already hard enough that the media gives us a lot, but then when we give them ammunition more, and it's hard to believe, and I still say this whole offseason. I'm gonna continue to say, whoever, you feel me, if you what's the saying? If the shoe fits, then it fits, or something. Like with this saying, is pretty much like, I don't get why more people had more praise to McDaniels or McDonald's or whatever the fuck you want to call them than these guys. Like, I just don't, like, a lot of people had a lot of praise for McDaniels, like, oh my god, this guy's top 5 offense, yada yada yada. And then we go into this year and they're like, oh, Antonio Pierce ain't gonna do nothing. This Raiders team don't even know what they're doing. The quarterback situation is not set. And I'm sitting here like, what the fuck? There's no way. There's no way, bro. And I don't know. It's just funny.
I see, I try to see both sides, and I think the overall, sentiments is 2 words: unfamiliar and unknown, right? and it's unfamiliar because we haven't really had a situation like this in years past where we have, like they talked about it in Antonio, Coach Antonio Pierce's presser, how you got coaches that don't have a lot of experience, and then you got coaches that got a whole bunch of experiences, and you're smashing both of those together. You know what I'm saying? We haven't had that situation before. You know what I'm saying? And then the unknown is because Antonio Pierce hasn't been a head coach before and hasn't, been a proven head coach in the NFL. So, the unknown of that kind of has us as some of us in the Raider Nation shaking a little bit and kind of like, oh, I don't know, and I'm unsure about. But that I think that's the reason why it just, because it's unfamiliar and because it's unknown. That's what makes it a pause for concern for some. But for me, I like it. I see what is brewing. I'm excited, and I'm going to talk about it even more, on my channel, specifically about our defense and the things that we got on this defensive side of the ball. Man, oh man. and that's the stuff that, like I was talking about earlier, Graham is talking stuff and giving us information, but he's not there's some things that he's not showing us. And look, I think the defensive side of the ball, it's really gonna put the NFL on notice on so many levels that just get ready, get your popcorn, and it's gonna be in a good way.
That's a fact, man. That's a fact. And shout out to True Raider in the building. What's good, True Raider? Good to see you. Hope all as well. But yeah, 100%, man. I'm, I don't know, bro. It just feels good. It just feels good to finally have this feeling, bro. We haven't had this feeling in a long time. It's always been like there's always something, bro. And I hope it continues this way, knock on wood, stuff like that. Hopefully everything continues to progress. And everybody from the people that are not projected to be the stars to that. I'm just excited to see this team go out there in first preseason. I mean, he talked about the preseason too. He kind of talked about the preseason, saying that, hey, they're gonna catch people off guard even the preseason, which is crazy, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Circus, Ray Love. They say we actually have a defense now. Raiders defense gonna be a problem. And just a quick thing based on the defense, y'all. Rob Ryan, what he said. Holy shit! If you didn't get hype off of what Rob Ryan said, man, I don't know what else you could get fucking hype for. That guy, man, he talked about it. He said he said Max Crosby gonna be scared for years. Defense gonna be scared for years. He talked about how all these guys are elevating the game and stuff like that. And Antonio Pierce even today said that Christian Wilkins and Max Crosby are going at it. They're like, who's gonna be the first one to sack the quarterback? Who's gonna be the first guy to get to the quarterback? Who's gonna be the first guy to tackle? Who's gonna be the first guy to get off their line? And that's the competition, man. And this defense is looking disgusting, right? Disgustingly in a good way, right? I hope, at the end of the day, we know how, all the people that are like me that didn't get to see the 80s, 70s, 90s defense and stuff like that, how ferocious they were and crazy. We know that when we research it, we see how crazy they are. And this team is trying to be that. They're trying to be that defense where it's like they go out there and they're going to hit you in the mouth. At the end of the day, there is flags. Let's be honest, y'all. They can't fully do what they back then could do. But they know that if they put in the work, they're going to do everything they can to make the offense on the other side living in a nightmare, right? So yeah, that's crazy, right? Shout out to True Raider. Says this is the scary part of the offseason because the players have 5 weeks or so off because you don't have anyone reported to camp with some injuries on some dumb shit. I'll be at SoFi week 1. There you go, man. And True Raider, here's the difference, right? Too with that, right? That's the scary part, right? But what we've been seeing in this offseason by this team is that they're showing up even on their off days. Like they're showing up on their off days, like on their non-mandatory days, they're showing up. And it kind of shows you that even through those 5 weeks, I would not doubt it that at least 50 to 70% of those players, or even 100%, go out there and still put in the work in the 5 weeks and nothing. You feel me? And because they've been doing that already, so it kind of shows me that they will do it again.
And I, Erica, and just riding on to what you're saying, because I'm with you, and I, like I said, are they really going to take the day off? And I think that all breeds because of the competition that Coach AP has instilled, you know what I'm saying, and Tom Telesco has helped him add to this roster. I can't, if I'm one of those guys, starter, and you start looking at the totality of this roster, starter and backup, I don't have the room to slack off. I can't lose, you know what I'm saying? I can't, like, and I know Coach AP said this, to the guys going into, training camp, because they do have the break. You better come in shape. You better not be 15 pounds heavier, you know what I'm saying, in the wrong way, you know what I'm saying, going into camp. Why? Because the guy that's right next to you in the depth chart is going to beat you out. So I don't have, you know what I'm saying, in the cornerback room, I don't have time to be fooling around and not, in my playbook. ALC don't got time to go fool around and just eat ice cream, you know what I'm saying, until training camp is. He better be in that playbook, and he better be throwing routes, you know what I'm saying, on his day off. Why? Because Minshew's right behind him saying, hey, I'll take your job. You know what I'm saying? So the competition all flooded throughout this whole entire roster is the reason why I think these guys can't slack off and ain't going to slack off. So I don't think there's no time. I don't think there's no days off for them. Like I said, I think there will be. I think just family wise and just business wise, I think they will take some family time here and there. But in between that, they're going to be about that business, because they know that in depth chart, there's a guy coming for their job.
Facts. And just to pretty much summarize for everybody that came in on top of all these day 2 and day 1, it's what we've been expecting. Work ethic off the charts, press conferences giving us a lot of information without giving us their hand, and all these different things. So on top of that too, there's another one that's a small little news to end it off and stuff like that before we end it off, is that Dylan Parham switched to right guard. So he went from the left to right, which kind of shows me that Dylan Parham is most likely going to start, because if they're switching his position, they want him in the starting lineup, because that means somebody else, they have higher praise to somebody else on that left guard position, which I haven't seen no reports on who that is. I think the competition is through the charts, but we know that there Munford is leading the charge at the right tackle, going against the best of best, and we know that now Dylan Parham switched to right guard. So, and we know Andre James Colton Miller set in stone, and Colton Miller is rehabbing right now. So yeah, of course, that's why he's like keeps being on the not show up report, but he is there, but he's on the sideline with trainers. He's just rehabbing from his shoulder surgery and stuff like that. Hey, True Raider, have fun, man. I'm hoping I could go game 1. I've been to pretty much every LA game so far. Hopefully I can make it this year too. It's 50-50 this year for me, but hey, maybe, man. Parham was a better right guard in college, so we're putting him back in his natural position. That's a fact, man. And that's the important thing about it, right? They're using these guys to their best of their ability. That's what it is. So anything you want to say before we head on off, based on the Parham or anything else?
I'm excited for that. I talked about it earlier, and Parham being, going back to his original, what he was familiar with in college. And James Craig talked about it, and James Craig opened a whole lot of stuff. If you guys have not, go back to James Craig, because I think that's one of our question mark positions, overall room is the offensive line. How well is that going to work out? What they're trying to do over there, how things have been progressing with players. And I think he said it, he looked at Parham and said, hey, it looks like you're natural right here. You know what I'm saying? And that's good. And I think they also just schematically, you look at the way that they're trying to form this line. You have a veteran in Colt Miller. You have a rookie in JPJ at left guard. So you have a rookie and a veteran, right? Then you got a veteran in the middle with Andre James. You know what I'm saying? Then you have, you know what I'm saying, a guy that's been, pretty much not a rookie, but a guy that, is fairly young.
Yeah.
And then you have, Mumford, who's young, but he's also trying to solidify himself on that right tackle spot. So you're trying to smooth out that room. You know what I'm saying? You want to kind of have some kind of a flow of solidified players there, and I think that works well. I think Parham is going to do some things there at the right guard, and obviously Craig sees what he likes there. I think, even with, and I'll highlight another thing with the James Craig presser. James Craig talked about, when he was with the Niners and he looked at the tape and he saw what was the groceries that were on our offensive line. That's a reason why he said, yes, I'm going to come over to be with the Raiders. So obviously there were some groceries here that he liked, you know what I'm saying? And that was the thing that brought him over. One of the things that was added to why he came over. I'm not going to go, as a coach, I'm not going to go to a team and the players are not something that I like. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to go to a team where, hey, I like what I see over here, and I know that I can work with these guys. And there's something that James Craig has seen in these guys on tape that he can work with. So, I liked Parham last year at left guard. Let's see if I like him this year at right guard.
Right guard. At his natural position. And, I'm excited, man, for the offensive line, too. That competition has not been talked about too much, and that's one of the most important ones. I think, just like SoCal Sal says, man, great days are ahead of us, nation. That's a fact, man. And I'm excited to know what's going to happen next. I believe they go back to camp tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. I got to go check on that. I think, but obviously they're still going to put in work regardless. And then obviously we know that Tom Telesco kind of came out and said, hey, we got an eye on a couple of free agents. It might happen before training camp, so just stay tuned for that. Maybe we'll get some news, maybe we'll not. They said they're just going to see how it is on minicamp and then see how it goes before they even execute it. If not, they're going to take the money next year and stuff like that, which is good too, because extensions, we got so many players that are on contract. So they may focus on that, because we've seen that if they're just like Max Crosby putting in the work, they're going to get rewarded. And just like today, day off, there's never days off for the Raiders. So I'm just glad that this Raiders has won. And hey, Twuan, let them know if you got any videos, lives, anything else coming soon, man. Let them know. Talk to them.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, all right, I think this was the last day.
Yeah, I think it is the last day
of minicamp, because I think there's only 3 days of minicamp and then they go into training camp. So I think pretty much Coach AP just decided, hey, let's just give them a day early, you know what I'm saying, and I'll see you, you know what I'm saying, in I believe it's in July.
It's in July, but we don't know which date yet.
Yeah, I think it's around July 23rd or something like that. But you guys can definitely get that information on the Raiders, Raiders.com. You guys, here, those that are on the SC Raiders Talk, come on over to Raider Twuan and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Support those that are on, you know what I'm saying, that are on the Raider Twuan channel. Go over and support my brother. We over here, we support both channels. You know what I'm saying? We definitely support both channels. So come on over to Raider Twuan, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. It's completely free to do. Again, that will enter you in the sweepstakes of winning a pair of black Air Forces over on the Raider Twuan channel if you subscribe. Definitely, I'll be working on some things as soon as after this video, but stay tuned, because I believe next week I'll be dropping the official. There is a college at the Raiders facility, and I will let you guys know what college that is, and stay tuned for that on the Raider Twuan channel. There is a college, university at the Raiders facility, and I'll let you guys know who at college or university that is in my next live. So you guys, if you guys have not checked out my latest live has talked about our guys here, quarterbacks, or also talked about our defense and a whole bunch of other things. So you do not want to miss all those. And our sleepers, people that have got slept on the roster. So I do talk a lot of good stuff over there on the Raider Twuan channel, and definitely join the congregation. I always say, you're a blessing, be a blessing to someone else.
And for me, you know me, every Tuesday, Thursday, Matt Thursday, 241 Nation podcast, just like this, same time, same place, 3:15 Pacific Standard Time, 6:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Tuesdays, it's 6:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. But people have been telling me that's a little bit too late for some people, especially in the East Coast. So I might go a little bit an hour earlier, maybe. I think that would be the best bet. I'm not sure yet. Obviously stay tuned for over the weekend. I might put up a poll between the 6:15 time slot and maybe the 5:15 and then maybe the 4:30 range. But around that time, obviously I'm gonna go live and stuff like that. Just gotta see because my community is more of earlier based than it is late night based. And just alone 6:15 is pretty out there, right? Cool Kev, I always show up. I've been proving Cool Kev wrong this whole time. He'd be saying I don't be showing up. I'll be showing up. I'm proven wrong, but obviously, shout out, saludos a Jaime, saludos mi buen amigo. Good to see you, Jaime. Hope all is well, man. But obviously, for me, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Thursday, same place, same time, same place. Tuesday, just stay tuned for that. But obviously, every Tuesday, I go live as well, my individual show. And on top of that, I haven't been dropping YouTube shorts lately, but if you guys haven't yet, go check out some of the YouTube shorts I've already dropped. Go check out the videos and stuff like that. Hopefully you guys enjoy those, getting into video editing and stuff like that. And then follow the Instagram as well. I need to get back on that, make more edits and stuff like that. But besides that, man, make sure to hit that like button on the way out. And you already know what it is. On the break, stop to yell. Oh, there you go, man. Let me play for you. And of course, I appreciate you, James Purple. Hope work is going good for you, man. And of course, you guys know how I ended up. Blessings to you guys and your families. Tough times never last, but tough people do, and you guys are some tough people, man. Again, life is too short, so tell your loved ones you love them. And on top of that, of course, see you Tuesday for me and stuff like that. And anything else that I'm missing?
Yeah, let me say this, man. Let me say this to everybody in the Raider Nation. Happy Father's Day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we don't catch you, you know what I'm saying? Because I think obviously the next time we see you for 241 Nation podcast, Father's Day has already passed. But happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there and those that are fulfilling those roles. You know what I'm saying? You may not necessarily be a father, you know what I'm saying, in the sense of you birthing a child, but there might be someone that you are playing that role for. So definitely you are a father. So definitely happy Father's Day to everybody that's either a father or playing that role. And if you are playing that role, you are definitely appreciated and needed throughout the entire world. So don't think you're less than because you have not, physically birthed a child. You're fulfilling that role, and that means a whole lot to the people that you're fulfilling that role to. So blessings to you.
Hey, man. And of course, fathers don't get enough credits, man, especially those father figures out there for certain people, man. Happy Father's Day from me, Tim, FMSC Raiders Talk, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Happy Father's Day to my dad and stuff like that, my brother and stuff like that. Shout out to you guys as well. And shout out to everybody out there that's a father. Like I said, happy Father's Day. And hopefully you guys enjoy, man. Enjoy with your loved ones at the end of the day, man. And stuff like that. And and no, Cool Kev, I don't have a baby kangaroo, motherfucker. Cool Kev always with them jokes. But no baby SC anytime soon, all right, bro.
Some girl calling somebody daddy.
Yeah. I was gonna say something, but I was gonna say that. But you know, we're gonna keep the PG out here. You feel me? Shout out to everybody, man. Blessings to you guys, families. Like always, man. Have a great weekend. Remember, don't drink and drive, and always tell your loved ones you love them because life is too short, and we know the craziness in the world. So spread positivity to everybody, man. And again, like Twuan always likes to say, man, be a donor, man. Go out there, donate, go save a life and stuff like that, man. And go follow everything. Hey, make sure to, you know, hit that like button and stuff like that, and subscribe if you're new. And if you come across this, hopefully you like the content, and subscribe for more content. Hit that bell notification. On that note, y'all, we will see you guys next time, y'all. Next Thursday for the both of us, and me next Tuesday, man. And shout out to you guys, man. Go subscribe. And SC Raiders Talk, aka boy Eric, and my boy Raider Twuan, man, home of the Brown Crackers and the congregation. And we are out. Peace.
There's no real